Bill O'Reilly here, Friday, March 27, 2020. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening today in America. Obviously, the pandemic continues to dominate the news cycle. All over the world, people are living in fear. So let's take a look at the stats. Right now, Italy is the worst place on this earth for the pandemic. Confirmed cases are approaching 80,000. All right, the rate of death, and this is very important, is 125 per 1 million population. By comparison, in the United States, it's below 3. So 3 people die in the USA out of 1 million from the contagion. That's what's happening right now. Spain is second, as passed China. But again, China, we cannot really believe what's happening there. I'll get to it in a moment. Spain, you have a 75% chance. So 75 people die out of every million in Spain. Spain has more than 50,000 cases. Again, by comparison, the USA is approaching 75,000 cases, but we have 5 times the population of Spain. China, we cannot get reliable numbers out of China. The country says it has the entire pandemic under control. And indeed, Starbucks, as I reported yesterday on the O'Reilly Update, has opened 95% of its shops in China. And Starbucks has a heavy presence there. So the contagion is pretty well contained in China. Keep that in mind. That's a 2-month journey there. Anyway, China says that only 2 out of 1 million people have died from the coronavirus in that country. I don't believe that stat. You're not going to get an honest look out of the communist government. Also in Iran, the mullahs aren't going to tell you the truth. And Iran has awful medical services. And that country has been hit very hard. Now, the United States is in the middle about the contagion. But the good news is our medical care, our private system, is far and away better than the single-payer socialized medicine in Italy, Spain, France, and Great Britain. Great Britain's death rate is 3 times ours. 3 times. Now, its contagion rate is lower, but again, Great Britain is about 60 million people. We have 330 million people. In a moment, the message of the day: listeners, sound off on the pandemic. Right back. It's shocking that your home can be stolen easily. Deborah learned that brutal lesson when thieves found her home's title online. They then forged the document to appear she sold her house, but she didn't. The criminals borrowed thousands using Deborah's home equity. She didn't even know she was a victim until foreclosure and eviction notices arrived. She spent a fortune trying to get her home back. The FBI now calls home title fraud one of the fastest growing crimes, but you can avoid a possible nightmare by protecting your home with Home Title Lock. Neither your homeowner's insurance nor your bank protects you. For pennies a day, Home Title Lock will. Find out if you're already a victim of home title fraud. So please register your home at HomeTitleLock.com and enter BILL, B-I-L-L, for 1 month of free protection. That's BILL for 1 month free at HomeTitleLock.com. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. Listeners sounding off about the pandemic. So let's go to John in Simsbury, Connecticut. Bill, what the heck did Republicans get in this bailout relief bill that they let the Democrats put all their garbage in it? John, that happens on every bill. Every single law passed by Congress is loaded up with what they call pork. Those are projects, expenditures that don't have anything to do with the law itself that's being debated. Now, most of the pork the Democrats put in, all the Green New Deal stuff, the money for the theaters, all of that had nothing to do with the pandemic, was cut out of the bill. Not all of it, but most of it. This is how our system works, and most people don't know. They don't know that when laws are passed, on the back of the laws are things that have nothing to do with the subject at hand. And that's because senators and congresspeople can then run back to their districts and states and say, hey, I got you this. I got you this bridge, or I got you this supplement of income. That's why they do it. Ellen, San Luis Obispo, California. How do I deal with family members who are fearful of the virus? Irrational fear, very difficult to deal with. Very difficult, Ellen. And it can really erode an entire family fabric. So what I do is write stuff down. All right? And if I have a child or an elderly person who's fearful, I say, look, we have 330 million Americans. All right, here's how many have gotten the virus, about 70,000. That's less than 1%. And out of the 70,000, here's how many died. That's 0.0000%. You have a better chance of being hit by lightning than to die from the coronavirus. Those kinds of facts written down so people can see them on a piece of paper sometimes allay fears, but sometimes not. I mean, the media is driving hysteria because that means viewership and readership for the media. You know what they're doing. Everybody knows what they're doing. And it's irresponsible. I mean, they're using their airtime not to get you information as we do here on the radio. They're not doing that. They're saying, whoa, this might happen or that might happen or that. I never do that. Speculation is garbage. Journalism is about facts, about truth. Now, well, that might happen. And this is what they do all the time. It's really distressing to me. Nicholas is in Plymouth, Minnesota. Being stuck in a house due to the virus with my wife, I started to organize the entire house. Started my office, we went through the books, and then we went into the bedrooms, we changed the furniture around, X, Y, and Z. That's therapy. You know, your house is the most important thing you have other than your personal relationships. It's your shelter. And this is a good time when everybody's in their own homes to reorganize, to reassess, to clean it up, to get rid of stuff. I mean, that's a real positive, and it takes your mind off why you're in a house in the first place. Joanne, Hernando, Florida. What is the difference in the media's treatment of Andrew Cuomo's updates than Donald Trump's? Well, the media loves the New York governor and despises Donald Trump. That's the difference, Joanne. It's pretty obvious. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and I approve that message by actually writing it. For more news analysis, please visit BillO'Reilly.com. In a moment, something you might not know. You've heard me talk about urchins, you know, the kids. They're obsessed with the machines I rail about. Those cell phones and computers they stare at into day and night, frittering their youth away. But there are times those machines can be quite valuable. If you are 75 or older and you own a life insurance policy worth $100,000 or more, We Buy 75 will appraise it free and help you convert it to cash. But you must pick up your cell phone and call 844-WE-BUY-75 or visit WeBuy75, one word.com. That's WeBuy75.com. Imagine never having to pay a life insurance premium again. There's no better feeling than having the cash you need for all your necessities. You've seen We Buy 75 on TV, heard them on the radio. So use those machines to get a free appraisal of your policy by calling 844-WE-BUY-75 or visiting WeBuy75.com. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. The pandemic will cost the USA economy trillions of dollars, with some economists predicting a possible unemployment rate of 30% in the coming months. Let's hope not. Even before the contagion, many Americans live way beyond their means, accumulating credit card debt, student loans, high mortgages. A new article by researcher Kristen Tate highlights the financial irresponsibility of many Americans, and now the contagion is making those decisions even worse. According to CNBC, only 40% of U.S. adults can afford an unexpected expense of $1,000. Few can pay 2 months' rent if necessary when not working. Despite rising wages and until February, the healthiest economy in decades, Economists blame America's tough finances on modern luxuries. 80% of us have smartphones, the same number a high definition television. Many have 3 of them. 6 in 10 Americans dine out at least once a week. 20% more than 3 times in 7 days. That's big money. We're not talking the Waffle House here. Families spend on average more than $100 on cell phone bills, $150 on cable TV, $200 on car payments, and on. That's each month. Healthcare costs, another major hardship. The average American home spends $5,000 per person annually on insurance. Childcare, very expensive. Then there's the basics. Housing, groceries, 40% of Americans have trouble covering those costs. 70% of us report some kind of financial struggle in our day-to-day lives. The middle class hardest hit, 20% falling into debt over the past decade. And more than 20% of the U.S. population is on some kind of financial assistance from the government. That number likely to skyrocket during the pandemic. Once the danger to our health recedes and the contagion is contained, it will be a good time for Americans to reevaluate their finances. Or, better yet, you might want to do that right now while you're sitting at home. Back after this. Computer systems in cars, now common. Mine has dozens of sensors, touchscreen displays, and electronically controlled transmission and more. Advanced tech is expensive to fix if and when it breaks, which is why I have Car Shield. Car Shield is affordable protection plans that can save you thousands for covered repairs, including computers, GPS, electronics, and much more. With Car Shield, you're behind the wheel of your own plan. When I'm on the road, I know that I'm covered with their 24/7 roadside assistance. If my car breaks down, I know Car Shield will provide a rental car for free while mine gets fixed. With rates as low as $99 a month, you have little to lose, so get covered by Car Shield today. Please call 800-CAR-6000 and mention code BILL. Or go to carshield.com and use code BILL to save 10%. A deductible may apply. carshield.com. Please use code BILL. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.